Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Kickoff Discussion podcast. In this video, I'll be discussing about Arsenal's transfer news, and for me, I will include why Oshimen is perfect for Arsenal, and I will discuss about the departure of Fabio Viera, and as well, I'll discuss about Eddie Nketiah. Now, let's get to it. Well, according to report by Fabrizio Romano, Saudi team Al Ahly has offered £65 million, of which the agreement is nearly done between both clubs. However, there's no agreement yet between Oshimen and Ahly in Saudi Arabia. He doesn't want to go out on loan. If that should be the case, he would have agreed a deal with Chelsea already, and he doesn't want to lower his wages, which is around 11 million euros per season. Why I'm saying this is simply because why I think Victor Osimhen is perfect for Arsenal. I will discuss this phenomenon from two perspectives. The very first one is the wages and transfer fee, and the second one is the playing style. I'll begin with the wages. According to the report that we've heard, 65 million euros from Al Ahly, which has been accepted by Napoli. This is just an indication that Arsenal doesn't need to break the bank to actually sign Victor Osimhen. And like now, there is also a report that Eddie Nketiah will be moving on, which I will be discussing later in this video. So now that we have this kind of news, and there's every possibility that we will have a striker that is leaving, and now we need a striker, and for me personally, I think Victor Osimhen tick all that box. In terms of transfer, before we heard that Napoli are not going to accept anything less than 130 million euros. However, now that we've seen that Napoli are willing to lower their prices, which is around 65 million euros, I don't think that's too much for Arsenal to pay for a striker like Victor Osimhen. So we do not need to break the bank to actually sign him. And on the second part, which is the wage demand, he will be demanding around 11 million euros per season, which I think Arsenal can afford. When I look at, before I thought he's on around 350k per week, and however, when I did my research, I saw that he's around between 190 to 200 million pounds per week wage, which is not too much for Arsenal to pay. So if we are to look for another striker this season, I think in terms of wages and transfer, I think Victor Osimhen tick that box, and I don't think it's too expensive for Arsenal to secure a player of his caliber. Moving on to the playing style, there are different dynamics and there are different perspectives that I would love to analyze concerning the playing style. Number one is Victor Osimhen is a very aggressive player, and with the way Arsenal want to play, sometimes we want to play high press football, and Victor Osimhen will help Arsenal in that aspect. And we do not, when we are on defensive transition, when we are on defensive transition, we normally switch to a 4-4-2 shape, whereas we have Martin Odegaard along with our attacker pressing high up the pitch, pushing our opponents to make mistakes and force them to play long balls. On this occasion, if we get Victor Osimhen, it will actually help Arsenal in that regard, because he's very, very aggressive, and whenever he's pressing opponents, he doesn't back down. He always presses the opponent every time. Do you understand? And this kind of playing style will help us, and it will force the opponents to actually play long ball. And at the end of the day, our defenders, they are big and they have good area presence, and they will be able to retain the ball and will start building up and advancing the play into the final third. Another dynamic that I would love to mention is ball retention up front. If you check our playing style last season, Kai Havertz did that brilliantly well in terms of retaining the ball high up the pitch. And this time around, if we get Victor Osimhen, is very, very good and is very physically dominant in the air. And if we are to play that kind of football, maybe withdraw withdrew opponents out of their shells, and we have our point man high up the pitch, he can actually retain the ball and actually help us progress into the final third, which is very, very good for our playing style as well. And thirdly is his physical dominance. Oshimen is a very, very strong striker, and whichever way you want to look at it, he will always find his way. He will muzzle through any defender to get to gain access into the 18-yard box, and him one-on-one with a defender is not afraid to run at any defender and muzzle his way through. And lastly is area threat in the box. We all know that Victor Osimhen is very, very powerful aerially inside the box, and he has gotten a lot of goals in that regard for Napoli, and he has got unbelievable goals for them. And if Arsenal can get him, I think there are different dynamics that we can play and which will make us unpredictable for any opponent in the Premier League. So these are the things that I see that I thought that Victor Osimhen would be perfect for Arsenal, and the way Mikel Arteta want to explore different kind of playing style, and we will explore different kind of play style this season. Moving on to Fabio Vieira and his low move to FC Porto. For me personally, this time around, if you ask me why we bought Fabio Vieira, is because we want him to be a backup option for Martin Odegaard. If you ask me, has he lived up to that expectation? From my own perspective, no. And going out on loan will equally help the team, and as well it will help him, because if he's able to get more playing time at FC Porto, it will rekindle his career, and probably if he comes back next season, I think he will be ready. He will be fully ready to fight on and support the team. Why I say so is when we all know how William Saliba's situation happened. When Arsenal got him, he was loaned back instantly to Saint Etienne, and after a season, he came back to Arsenal, and he also went back to France, which on this occasion he went back with Olympique Marseille. And after his return to Arsenal, he was fully ready, and we are now reaping the benefits of that decision. Now, I think Fabio Vieira moving to FC Porto will be very, very profitable, will be very, very nice and great for Arsenal and for the player as well, because right now he needs more playing time, and he's not going to get that at this point in time, because he has not been consistent with the way he plays. He has not been consistent with his performances. So I think moving to FC Porto will be a great move for him. And lastly, there is also a report concerning Eddie Nketiah. You remember last week I spoke about Eddie Nketiah and his potential move to Nottingham Forest. But on this occasion, I think maybe Nottingham Forest has backed out, maybe due to Arsenal's transfer fee demand from Nottingham Forest, which is around 30 to 25 million pounds. However, some hours ago, there's a report that Crystal Palace has submitted an official bid to Arsenal to sign Eddie Nketiah, and there's an agreement between Crystal Palace and Eddie Nketiah based on personal terms, which is he has already agreed personal time with Crystal Palace. The only thing left now is just the details between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. So there's every possibility that Eddie Nketiah will be moving to Crystal Palace in a couple of days, possibly, according to this report, if agreement is reached between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. So now this now boils down to the kind of replacement that Arsenal will be bringing in to the team. As I said earlier, Victor Osimhen tick all that box. Who the kind of player that Arsenal need at this point in time, he ticked all those boxes, and it would be nice if we can actually replace Eddie Nketiah with this kind of quality player. So I've also discussed about Victor Gyökeres, and maybe, just maybe, but if his price is still around 80 million pounds upward, in excess of 8 million pounds upward, I think Victor Osimhen, with the news that we heard today, will not be that expensive for Arsenal to get. So these are the updates that I have concerning Arsenal's transfer updates. You can let me know what you think. Do you think Victor Osimhen, where do you think Victor Osimhen will end up in this season? If you would love to see Victor Osimhen at Arsenal, drop your comments down drop your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll see you in another episode, and bye for now.